This week's Parsha is Tetzaveh. You might recognize the word Tetzaveh because it has the word Saveh, which is mitzvah. And you shall command. V'ata Tetzaveh et bnei Yisrael. You shall command or instruct the Israelites in the following. It's very strange language because normally it says, and God spoke to Moses and said, Daber bnei Yisrael, speak to the people of Israel. But this is the only time where it says, I want you to command the people of Israel to do the following. So what's the following? It's to create lahalot ner tamid. The ner tamid, we all are familiar with that. The eternal light that burns in the sanctuary. So the rabbis asked the question, why this language? Why, and you shall command? Why not just speak to the people of Israel? And they give numerous answers. One of the answers they give is that here, what we have is God wants Moses to focus. You are commanding the people to create the Ner Tamid, the eternal light. Why? Because that's an eternal concept. That is a mitzvah that goes forever. Then, of course, you're going to build what is the Ner Tamid in. You're going to build the tabernacle, the sanctuary, the Beit HaMikdash, the Beit Knesset, the temple, the synagogue, the ancient temple. All these things changed and developed in Jewish tradition. We had a wandering tabernacle, we had Solomon's temple, then we had the second temple, then we had synagogues. We've had different institutions, but there's one thing in common. It was the Ner Tamid. So God is saying, that's what I want. I want the Ner Tamid. What is that? I want you to sense my eternal presence. I want you to understand that the light of Torah, the light that I have given you, the instruction, right? Torah and or, light, instruction, all connected. That is eternal. My presence amongst you, my concern for my creation, that's eternal. So you light that eternal light. That's the command. The rest has to do with the period of time you're in. You're in the desert, you need a wandering tabernacle. You're in Jerusalem, you have a sovereign nation, and you need a temple, you need a Beit HaMikdash, you need a central location to give pride to the community. And then the second temple, when we reestablished the Jewish community after the first destruction. Then we ended up wandering around the face of the earth. So we built synagogues, Batei Knesset, places of assembly, and we put in them a Beit Midrash, a place to study. We put in them a Beit Tefillah, a place to worship. We put in there social halls to celebrate weddings, bar mitzvahs, baby namings, brisses. We created institutions that fit the situation, but there was one thing that never changed. In that Beit Knesset, in that Beit HaMikdash, in the temple, in the synagogue, we placed the eternal light to sense the eternal presence of God and the eternal teachings of the Torah. Years ago, 1992, Hurricane Andrew, we know the destruction that it wrought in Kendall. One of the synagogues that suffered tremendous destruction was a synagogue I served at that time, Temple Samuel or Olam. What were the people concerned about? And it took us a few days to even get to our synagogue after the disaster because the roads were impassable. Well, we were worried about the Sifrei Torah, of course, but we had put them in a home that was very secure and they were safe. We were worried about the Sidurim, which unfortunately were destroyed and had to be replaced. But it's interesting, what everybody asked, and what we ran to check immediately was, is the Ner Tamid, the eternal light, still burning? Because we sensed if the Ner Tamid went out, this represented a danger to our community. We have to get it lit again. The Ner Tamid was still burning because it had a battery backup, and electricity came on a few days later. That Ner Tamid was still hanging above the ark. It survived the destruction. But the important thing was the symbol. People were worried. Is the Ner Tamid out? Has it burnt out? Because if it has, we have to go relight it. We have to rekindle it because we can't have a synagogue without a Ner Tamid. We can't have a community without a Ner Tamid. We can't have a community without a sense of presence of the holy of God, without a sense of Torah, of the teachings that guide us and which we're responsible to give to the world. That Ner Tamid, that's what God commands. V'ata Tetzaveh. Command them concerning the Ner Tamid. As far as what kind of institution they're going to build around the Ner Tamid, they'll figure it out based upon the period of history, the societal situation, the communal situation, what the people of Israel need to keep that Ner Tamid alive and keep those teachings alive. That, Moses, I'm not going to command you. That they can build. But the Ner Tamid, you command them. This is something I need of my people, and I command my people to keep my presence alive and keep my Torah alive and keep the light burning. That was a symbol of Hanukkah as well. They went immediately to light the Ner Tamid and to light the menorah, which was also a symbol of God's creation. We have to find ways to always keep that Ner Tamid alive and burning in our hearts, in our synagogues, in our community, and all that is represented since God commanded us in the desert. V'ata Tetzaveh. And you, Moses, command the people, La'alot Ner Tamid, to light that Ner Tamid. It was burning then, it's burning in the hearts of the Jews throughout history, and it still burns in our synagogues throughout the world. And may continue to burn. It will depend upon us and our determination to keep that light aglow. Shabbat Shalom.